Right, welcome to the 2021 Portmagee Regatta. Beautiful conditions for rowing. Not quite as sunny as it was last year, but we can't have everything. So we're starting off with the under 18 boys. We have 5 crews. We have 2 from Carsavine. We have Calinaferse, Valencia, and El Nino from Portmagee. So things are looking very even as we head off. So we have Joe Donoghue, Mike Connor, David Hussey, Adrian Fitzgerald, and I think it's Mickey Murphy, maybe Coxon there in the Calinaferse. Things very even at the moment. Maybe El Nino probably slightly edging it. So Valencia with Dermot Walsh. We have Sneem with Adrian Fitzgerald, and El Nino with David Hussey. Valencia rounding first, just ahead of Portmagee, with Sneem in third, I would think. It's all very close. Then we have the memory from Calinaferse and Carsavine. But Dermot Welsh has the lead from the swallow from Sneem and Adrian Fitz. But they're pressing and pressing hard. And then we have El Nino on the far side from Portmagee. This is a very close race. Very close for first and second. Very, very close for first and second. Valencia and Dermot Walsh just edging it from Adrian Fitzgerald and his Sneem crew. Followed by David Hussey with El Nino from Portmagee. And then for 4th place, it's all no between the memory and Carsavine. Yeah, Dermot Welsh still holding a very slight lead from Adrian Fitzgerald from Sneem in the swallow, followed by Portmagee. It's very close for 4th place between Carsavine and Calinaferse. So as they're making their way back to the bridge, Dermot Walsh has about a length of a lead from Sneem, and they are about a length in front of El Nino. Close enough race for this opening race here in Portmagee today. We have 2 or 3 links back then to 4th place, which is very closely contested between Carsavine and the memory from Calinaferse. Carsavine just edging it there for 4th place. But now as we look up front again, we see Dermot Walsh has about a length and a half from Adrian Fitzgerald with the swallow from Sneem, who has about a length from David Hussey and El Nino. And it would appear that that's how the standings will be as we're heading back towards the bridge. So we have Valencia and Dermot Walsh holding their steady lead. From Adrian Fitzgerald and the Swallow, Sneem. And in third place we have El Nino with David Hussey, followed by Carstavine, Big Mike O'Connor, and then we have Calnafersey with, I think it's John Joe Sullivan. So as we head back towards the bridge, we see Dermot Walsh and his senior men, of his under 18 men, going to take first position from Adrian Fitzgerald in the Swallow from Sneem, and in third place in the under 18s, 18 boys will be El Nino and David Hussey. It's a very close race for fourth between Carstavine and Calnafersey. So as they head back under the bridge, taking the hooter is Dermot Walsh and Valencia, followed closely by the Swallow and Adrian Fitzgerald. And in third place we have David Hussey and El Nino. And a very close finish for fourth between Carstavine and Calnafersey. 'Tis o'er and o'er. 'Tis o'er and o'er. Oh, I think it's a dead heat, I think, for fourth. And we're away in this under 16 girls race. We have I think 7 boats in this race. We have El Nino, Portmagee, we have Valencia, Sneem, Carstavine, 2 Calnafersey crews, and Sive. So as we're heading over, we see that Valencia and Dermot Walsh are edging it out from David Hussey and El Nino. And then we have Sneem in third, followed very closely by Carstavine in fourth, with Calnafersey in fifth, Sive in sixth, and our second Calnafersey crew bringing up the rear at the moment. But out independently in front we have Dermot Walsh and Valencia, followed by El Nino, with Sneem and Carstavine or north for third, and they are pressing on El Nino. So Valencia and Dermot Walsh are probably 2 lengths clear of Portmagee, and we have 4 boats vying for second. We have Sive, the Mehel from Calnafersey, we have Carstavine and Sneem. So it's really very close for second and third places. We have for second place we have Valencia just round the by, followed closely by Carstavine, followed by Sive, with the Mahal and the Memory. The Mahal have so as we're heading back from that one, we have Valencia followed by El Nino with the two Calnifersi boats, third and fourth, followed by Sneem, followed by Carsavine, followed by Sive. So as we're heading back there, we can see Dermot Walsh and Valencia are about a length and a half to 2 lengths clear of El Nino. Then we have I think it's the Mahal and then the Memory, which Sneem and Carstavine and Sive are bringing up the rear. Sive had a pretty bad round in there. They had the round very wide. So Valencia are increasing their lead as we head back towards the bridge. They'll be 2.5 lengths clear of El Nino. We're about 2 lengths clear of Calnifersi. And then we have and as we head back along, this is a pretty clear cut. We have Dermot Walsh and Valencia. We have 2 lengths clear of El Nino from Portmagee, who are a further maybe 3 or 4 lengths clear of Calnifersi de Mahal, close to being followed by Carsavine and Sneem. And then we have the Memory from Calnifersi, followed by Sive. So now, as they're coming onto the bridge, we see Dermot Walsh and his under 16 girls, about 1.5 lengths clear of David Hussey's El Nino. And there we have Dermot Walsh taking the hooser from David Hussey, and it's a very close race. It's a very close race for third, but the Mahal will hold on to it. The Mahal will take third. Just a boat length clear of Carstavine and Sneem. Very good finish. Very, very good finish. We have Sneem, we have Sive, and then we have the Memory. So we have the under 16 boys. We have 3 boats in this race. We have Valencia, Sive, and Canada Percy. There's where we're heading over. We see that Canada Percy seems to have taken the lead from Valencia, from Slive. Under 16 boys. So as we're heading on over, Canada Percy seem to have established the lead from Dermot Walsh and Valencia, with Slive in third place. Beautiful conditions for rowing here today in Portmagee. Beautiful calm waters. We're heading on over. We see Canada Percy leading from Valencia with Slive in third place. Approaching the rounding here, we see Canada Percy are rounding the far by, and Dermot Walsh and Valencia have come over here to round on this nearby. So Canada Percy are just rounding, and now Valencia coming into round. So Canada Percy will have about 3 or 4 strokes from Valencia, with Slive coming up to the rounding by now. So now Slive had unfortunately a very wide rounding there, but Canada Percy are still in the lead from Valencia, who have quite a distance over Slive. So it's great to see these youngsters taking up the sport of rowing. A good healthy exercise, must be said. So we head on back, and we have Canada Percy with 4 to 5 links from Valencia. And then there's 6 or 7 links back to Slive. We're heading back towards the bridge, coming towards the end of this under 16 boys race. We see Canada Percy with a comprehensive lead over Dermot Walsh and Valencia from Slive in third place. So there won't be any change to the standings in this particular race. Canada Percy had a good start and have led it all the ways. It was a close contest really, up as far as the boy, but from there Canada Percy have opened up quite a lead from Dermot Walsh and Valencia, and we have Slive in third place. So here, coming up to get the hooter, is Calvin Fersi with the Mahal boat. There we have it, the Mahal under 16 crew, victorious here in Portmagee today. So our next race is the under 12 mixed, and for this race we have 7 boats. So we're away. We're after the start of this race. As we're heading up, we have the 2 Calvin boats in first and second. Then we have Valencia with it. Portmagee will be in third, Valencia in fourth, the Carsavine boat, Barry O'Shea will be closing up in fourth. But it's the Mahal in the lead from the memory. But Portmagee O'Shea is moving along swiftly. Portmagee has now taken the lead. From the 2 Calvin boats, with a very close race then for fourth between Barry O'Shea of Carsavine and Dermot Walsh of Valencia. So we have Portmagee from the Mahal, from the memory, with Dermot Walsh, is coming strong. This is a very good race, very competitive race. But Portmagee is edging along nicely. Dermot Walsh and Valencia are making quite a push here. I said we'll be heading into second, and then I said the memory would be in third. Barry O'Shea and the Mahal. So as we're coming to the line here, it's Portmagee O'Shea. Portmagee O'Shea takes the hooter, followed by Valencia and Dermot Walsh in second place. And it's really close for third between the memory and Carsavine with Barry O'Shea, but the memory just takes it. The memory takes third from Barry O'Shea, and then we have the Mahal and the second Carsavine boat, coxed by Sinead O'Sullivan. Right, so now we have the minor ladies, the under 18 ladies, and we have El Nino from Portmagee. We have Dermot Walsh with the Erin from Valencia. We have Portmagee Shea and Sive, and we have Calvin Fersi. So here we are, and we're away. We have a very even start to this one. We have Calvin Fersi the Mahal. The slight advantage over Sive with Valencia and Portmagee or Nor. So as we head on down, we have the Mahal, about half a length from Sive, with about a quarter of a length in front of Valencia, who have a quarter of a length from El Nino. So as we head on down, the Mahal have just a bare length from Valencia, who are just overtaking Sive. That's very close for second. And then we have El Nino, who are just, there isn't clear water between any of them. So Valencia seem to be going the best of all the crews at the moment. They're pushing up on the Mahal from Calnaferse, with El Nino pushing up on Sive. This is a very close race. There isn't 2 lengths between all boats. Very, very competitive race this. Yeah, Valencia are pressing on the Mahal, but the Mahal are still holding it. And then we have Sive and El Nino are over for third. So now we're just approaching the buoy here, and Calnaferse have about half a length, but Valencia are really pressing, and it's very close between El Nino and Sive. El Nino shooting into third. So now as we're coming to the buoy, we have Valencia rounding first. Sive in second, and Portmagee in third. Mind you, the Mahal have rounded the far buoy. We had a bit tangled there between Sive and Portmagee. So Valencia have taken the lead from the Mahal, and Portmagee and Sive still have their oars caught in each other. So now it'll be in between. It will be Valencia. It'll be Valencia from the Mahal, and unfortunately the tangle between Sive and El Nino have left him both well off the pace. So that was very unfortunate that clash at the rounding. But up front we have Dermot Walsh and Valencia, who's about a quarter of a length of water ahead of the Mahal. And then there's a considerable gap back to Sive in third. And I think the El Nino had an issue with their steer. So this is close, but it looks like Valencia will hold it from the Mahal. It is very, very close. Yeah, very competitive in these two crews. But Valencia have about a quarter of a length of clear water from the Mahal, with Sive in third place. So here we are, coming up to the bridge, and to get the hooter will be Dermot Walsh and his crew from Valencia, who have a quarter of a length to spare over Calnaferse's the Mahal. Our next race is the under 14 girls. Now there's 8 crews in this race. It's great to see all these young girls taking up the sport of rowing. Now I must admit that I'm not very familiar with any of these crews, because I'm just filling in today for the great Brendan Cap Murphy, who's suffering from a bout of laryngitis, I believe. But we'll do our best. I know that so far you probably found the commentary rather boring, but I apologise for that. But I'm not totally up to date with all these young crews in the water. But anyway, we'll do our best, and we'll carry on regardless. So we're away. We're away. Very even start. And it would appear to be El Nino and Valencia from Sneem, from Carstevine, Joe Donoghue and Padraig Shea. Then we have the Memory, we have Carstevine second crew, and we have Portmagee second crew. So now as we head on over, Valencia are clear of El Nino, who are about 3/4 of a length clear of Sneem, who are about half a length clear of Carstevine, who are half a length clear of Sive, and then we have the Memory and Carstevine second crew and Portmagee second crew are oar and oar. So as we head on over, we have Valencia, who have about a length and a half to 2 lengths from El Nino, who will bring pressed closely by Sneem. Probably even about half a length from Sneem, and Sneem have about a 1/4 of a length of water from Joe Donoghue's Carstevine crew. So Valencia are up front, but it's very close for second and third. It's a very competitive race. Then in fifth we have Sive and the Memory, and we have the Carstevine second crew and Portmagee second crew. So up front, as we're heading to the buoy, Valencia have a clear run at it, but it's very close between El Nino and Sneem for second place. Valencia now coming up the round, well clear. Valencia rounding just now, and rounding in second is Portmagee, and in third is Carstevine's Joe Donoghue in the nearby, and then we have Sneem round in the far by. In fourth, then we have Padraig Shea in fourth. So as we come away from this, we have Valencia with Joe Donoghue making fantastic ground after that rounding, and he's pressing on El Nino, he's passing El Nino. So now we have Valencia in first, Carstevine, Joe Donoghue in second, El Nino in third, and Sneem in fourth. This is very competitive. Then in fifth we have Sive, in sixth we have Callanafersi, and Carstevine second crew and Portmagee are just after rounding the buoy. So now it's a very good race for second place between El Nino and Carstevine and Joe Donoghue. El Nino have about maybe a 1/4 of a length from Carstevine and Joe Donoghue, who have about a 1/4 of a length of water over Sneem and Adrian Fitzgerald. But it must be said that Valencia are well clear in this one. Valencia have 4 to 5 links clear water, but there's a fantastic race for second between El Nino and Joe Donoghue, Carsavine and Sneem. El Nino just about 3/4 of a length to the boat from Joe Donoghue's Carsavine crew, who's just clear of Sneem. And then we have Sive and Callanaferse, and then Carsavine second crew and Portmagee second crew. But up front, out in his own, is Dermot Walsh and Valencia, followed by El Nino, who has pulled the boat link clear of Joe Donoghue and Carsavine, who are about half a link clear of Sneem and Adrian Fitzgerald. So Valencia going out in style, 4 to 5 links clear from El Nino in second place, with Joe Donoghue and Carsavine in third. It's a great race for third between Joe Donoghue and Sneem. But up front, here we see Dermot Walsh and his crew of under 14 girls coming up to get the hooter. A comprehensive win by these girls as they come under the bridge to the cheering crowd to take the hooter in first place. And coming in second, we have El Nino, just a link clear of Carsavine and Joe Donoghue. Very good race for second place. El Nino just taking it by a length from Joe Donoghue and Carsavine, with about a length and a half clear of the Swallow, Sneem and Adrian Fitzgerald. Our next race is the under 14 mixed, and we have the memory from Callanaferse. We have the Swallow from Sneem. We have Dermot Walsh from Valencia, Mike Connor from Carsavine, and we have Sive. We have I think 2 Carsavine crews in this, or would we call that an over the water crew? I'm not too sure. But away we go, and we have I'd say Big Mike and Carsavine is just edging it. From Valencia and Sneem. Padraig Shea's going strong with Big Mike, is very close between the two of them and Sneem. Padraig Shea's starting to edge it a little bit over Big Mike. Padraig Shea's a couple of feet from Big Mike, who's a couple of feet from Sneem, who's about half a length over Valencia. So we're heading on over. Padraig Shea, but about a quarter of a length from Big Mike. Carsavine from Sneem. We have Valencia in fourth place. So Sive have about about half a length. With Sneamer increasing. Sneem have taken over second place from Big Mike. It's a very, very close race. Very close here up front now. Padraig O'Shea from Sneem, from Carstavine, but there's nothing between these three boats. There's nothing between them. And then we have Valencia in fourth. So now, as we're coming up to the buoy, it is very close between Sive and Sneem. Very, very close between Sive and Sneem. It looks like Sneem will take the rounding first. It's looking like Sneem will round in first place. Yeah. Sneem are rounding. Then Sive are rounding the far side. Followed closely by Carstavine. Then Valencia rounding. Then we have the second Carstavine crew, I think it's the second Carstavine crew. And then Caldeferse. So as we come away from it, Sneem are in first place. Sive in second place. Carstavine in third. Valencia in fourth. This is a very competitive race. But Sneem are edging along nicely. Followed by Sive, followed by Big Mike. This is a very competitive race. But Sneem seem to be in command. They have about half a length of clear water over Sive, who have just a boat length in front of Big Mike. And then we have Valencia about half a length back off that. So now we're heading along back. Sneem have about a boat length over Sive, who have just a boat length over Big Mike, who has a length of clear water over Valencia. Carstavine are pressing now. They're pressing Padraig. The Sneem are in command, but Carstavine are pressing. They're pressing on Padraig. That's a very good race for second place. So now Sneem have a length and a half of clear water from Sive, who have 3/4 of the boat from Big Mike, who has about a length and a half from Valencia. Yeah, Sneem are in control of this race, but it's very close for second. Big Mike is making another move. He's urging his crew on, and they're responding. This is a very good race for second place. This is a really tight race for second place, with Valencia in third. But Sneem are in control, 2 to 3 lengths clear, but a fantastic race for second place. Absolutely fantastic race for second place between Big Mike and Sive. It looks like Sive will hold on to second, but there won't be much in it. There certainly won't be much in it. So here we see, coming under the bridge, to the cheers of the crowd, we have Sneem and Adrian Fitzgerald. They're going to get the hooter. And still they're pressing here. Oh, Sive Sive just by half a boat length, even less, from Carstavine and Big Mike. Followed closely in fourth place by Dermot Walsh and Valencia. Right, now we have the senior men's 4-hour race. In this race we have Portmagee, we have El Nino, we have two Calnafersi crews, we have Sneem and we have Valencia. So as we head over, Portmagee is leading it from Calnafersi, the memory, from El Nino, from Sneem, with the Mahal and Valencia. Portmagee has about a length clear of the memory. We're about 3/4 of a length clear of El Nino. We're about maybe half a length clear of Sneem. With Valencia are coming along. They're improving with every stroke. So we have Sive from the memory, from El Nino, from Sneem, with Valencia and the Mahal. This is a very competitive race between Sive and the memory. And for third place is a great race between El Nino and the Swallow from Sneem. Valencia and the Mahal are having a tough battle. But as we head over, it's Portmagee by about maybe a quarter of a length from the memory, with Sneem edging into third over El Nino. Valencia will be pressing on El Nino as well. It is very close. It is very close for the minor placings, but now the memory have overtaken Portmagee. They've gone a quarter of a length ahead. The memory are moving nicely. Yes, they're moving on past Portmagee. The memory are just about the boat length. Yes, they're starting to make clear water between themselves and Sive. And it's a fantastic race for third place between Sneem and Valencia. And the Mahal is still in there. El Nino seem to be moving back a little bit. So Valencia and Dermot Walsh and Sneem are over and over for third place, and they're moving up on Sive. So now we have Calnafersi, who are about 3/4 of a length of water clear of now Sneem in second place, with Sive in third and Valencia in fourth. This is a very, very competitive senior men's race. Then we have the Mahal and El Nino. But the memory, with about half a length of clear water over Sneem, who have a half at boat length over Sive. with Valencia in 4th place at the moment. So here we have, coming up to the buoy, we have the Memory, just about to round. Memory is rounding. Very close between Sneem and Sai for 2nd place. Valencia in 4th. Valencia have missed the buoy. Valencia have missed the buoy. Yeah. So that was unfortunate for Valencia. But up front, we have the Memory from Sneem, from Sive, with now El Nino in 4th, and the Mahal in 5th. Yeah, Denver was unfortunate there. Just came inside the buoy. So now we have the Memory, who are about a boat length clear of Sneem, who are a quarter of a length clear of Padre. That's a great race for 2nd place. A fantastic race for 2nd place. And then we have a race between El Nino and the Mahal for 4th place. Up front we have the Memory, with Sneem improving with every stroke. Sneem are gaining, so the pressure is really on these boys. The Memory just holding it by about a quarter of a length of water from Sneem, who are motoring quite well, and they are gone a length and a half clear of Sive in 3rd place. And still a great race for 4th between the Mahal and El Nino. The Mahal seem to have overtaken El Nino. Now up front we have the Memory, with Sneem trying on the far side. Sneem are really piling it on the Memory now. They're up to a half a length. This is a great race for 1st place between the Memory and Sneem. Both these boats have pulled well away from Sive in 3rd place, with the Mahal coming along to challenge Sive for 3rd place. But up front, the Memory just holding about half a length from Sneem. Sneem are really piling on the pressure now. Sneem are really piling on the pressure. And they've gone about 4 lengths clear of Sive in 3rd place. The Memory is still holding on. They're holding on by about half a length from Sneem. This is fantastic racing. Absolutely fantastic racing. So we're heading on back. We have the Mahal. The Mahal are coming strong on Sive for 3rd place. So the Memory of Clonafirstry just about holding Sneem to the half a length. Just about. But Sneem are putting on a push. Sneem are putting on a push here. Have they got enough speed to take him? This is the question. As we're heading back, maybe about 80 strokes, 80 to 100 strokes to go. The Memory just holding it by half a length. Just holding it. Sneem are pressing. Sneem are really pressing. Sneem are really pressing it. They're coming into the closing stages. Yes, Sneem getting their bows out. Sneem have their bows out. That's a great push by Sneem. Absolutely great push by Sneem coming up to the closing stage of this race. Sneem have half a length. Sneem are going the better of the two at the moment. Sneem are going the better of the two. They've overtaken the Memory. That was a fantastic race all the way over. Sneem just by about a length. Sneem just by a length from the Memory. Memory who led it all the way over. But Sneem have taken it by a boat length. Sneem get the hooter from the Memory. From the Mehel in third place, who overtook Sive. So there you have it. Sneem in first, the Memory in second, and the Mehel in third. Right, and this is the final 4 race of the day. This is the senior ladies. Now there's 9 crews in this race. I'll be totally baffled by all of these, but I'll do my best to get through them. I think we're just about ready to go. We're just about ready to go in the senior ladies race of the Portmagee Regatta of 2021. So there we are, we're away. We're away. Sneem have jumped out to a great start. Sneem and the Memory. And then we have Padraig Shea. And we have El Nino. So as we head on over, there's the Memory leading it out from Sneem, from El Nino. With Sive and Valencia. So as we head on over, it's the Memory from Sneem, from El Nino, from Sive, from Valencia, with Carsavine second crew, and then we have the Mehel, Carsavine with George Shea, and Portmagee second crew. So as we head on over, Sneem are in second place behind the Memory, with Sive in third, or and or with El Nino. So as we head on over, there's the Memory in first place from Sneem in second. Sneem going nicely. Sive in third. El Nino in fourth. And Johnny Connor is way up in fifth, with Dermot Walsh in sixth. Then we have the Mehel, Carsavine second crew, and Portmagee second crew. Sneem are pressing on the Memory. They're up to just about a quarter of a length. Sneem are going the better of the two. Sneem are just about taking over taking over the lead from the memory. It looks like Sneem from the memory as we're heading to the buoy. Sneem around in this nearby to us, and the memory around in the far buoy from us. So it looks like Sneem will definitely round in first place. Yeah, they're just coming up to the buoy here. Sneem in first, with the memory in second. Portmagee in third, and El Nino in fourth. Johnny Connor is in fifth. Valencia in sixth. Yeah, Sneem are around, and the memory is around. Sneem are fully around. Memory is just fully around. This is very close. As we're heading back, I would think that the memory got a slightly better rounding. But Sneem are coming. Sneem are coming. So we have the memory from Sneem, from Sive, from El Nino. Sneem are gaining with every stroke on the memory again, even though the memory had a better rounding. Sneem are overtaking them again. So Sneem appear to be heading into a lead there, with Sive in third place, El Nino in fourth, Johnny Connor in fifth, DeMahal in sixth, and Valencia in seventh. So up front we have Sneem, who have about 3/4 of a length on the memory, and these two boats have opened up a 3 to 4 length gap on Sive, who are about 2 lengths clear of El Nino. So here we see Sneem taking control of this race. They have clear water between themselves and the memory. And then we have a few links back to Sive in third, and 2 or 3 links back to El Nino in fourth. But up front, Sneem are dictating the pace. The senior ladies have taken the lead that little bit earlier than the senior men in the previous race. But this is fantastic racing here in Portmagee today. So Sneem have probably a length from the memory, from Sive, from El Nino. So not a very competitive race. But Sneem seem to have taken control, and I don't think the memory will catch them. It doesn't look like that. And these two have pulled well clear of Sive in third place. So here, as we're approaching the bridge in the final 4 race on the calendar today, we have Sneem, who are now in a comfortable lead, about 2 lengths of water, of clear water, over the memory in second, with Sive in third and El Nino in fourth. So here we come, under the bridge, the resounding cheers there. We have the Swallow from Sneem, are taking the hooter from the memory of Calnafarsi in second place. Followed in third by Sive, with Portmagee in fourth place. That's your senior ladies 4R 2021 in Portmagee. Well, here we are at the main event of the day, the Clampore Sainboard race. We have 4 boats competing in this. We have Valencia with the Island Dawn and Dermot Walsh. We have the Liberator from Carstavine with Big Mike. We have the Creation from Sneem with James Gleeson. And we have the Adventure from Ballinskelligs with Peter Hussey. So it is great to know that the traditional seine boats, thanks to the wonderful efforts of John and James Murphy of Barrack that seine boat recognition by the Heritage Society of Ireland for seine boat racing, seine boats for fishing and seine boat building. John and James did a lot of work to get that through, to get recognition from the Heritage Council of Ireland. And well done to them and fair play to them. With some assistance from Kieran Cap Murphy as well. And of course, as we look around Portmagee, we can see the wonderful domes of Portmagee Whisky, who are also sponsoring the seine boat race here today. So we wish them well with that endeavour of Portmagee Whisky. So now we await the start of the final event of the day of the seine boat race. Now I only have the list of 2 crews, unfortunately, but so we have Carstavine, Cox by Mike O'Connor, and we have Aidan O'Sullivan and John Donovan, Pam McGill and Paul Donovan, sorry, Stephen McCarthy and Adrian O'Connell, Brian Thorne and Mick Barrack Murphy, John Paul Connor and Paul Barrack Murphy, and Mike Coffey and Dennis Moriarty. And in the Sneem board we have Cox James Gleeson, and we have Kevin Murphy and Michael John Murphy, Raymond White and Micheál O'Sullivan, Kieran O'Sullivan and Owen O'Sullivan. And here we are away. The start of the seine boat race. A very even start. Valencia slightly edging it from Sneem, from the Liberator, with Ballinskelligs in 4th. Ballinskelligs cocked by Peter Hussey. In that crew I see Mike Morton and Joe Moore and Kieran Shukra ahead of the stroke. Maybe the only faces just familiar to me as we passed them by there. And here we have Valencia and Sneem just taking it out from the Liberator. But these are very early days in this race. So Sneem and Valencia will be oar and oar. They do about 3/4 of a length in front of the Liberator, with Ballinskelligs in 4th. But it's nice to see Ballinskelligs back in the water. They've had a great tradition all down through the years of seine boats, and it's nice to see them back. So this is their first year at it, so it's nice to see them getting back on the water. So now as we head over, we have Sneem are creeping into a lead from Valencia. So it'll be Sneem by about nearly half a boat length from Carstavine, with Ballinskelligs in 4th. So now to give you the rest of that Sneem crew, on the 3rd row we've Dennis O'Sullivan and Paul Breen, then we've Shane Christian and Tyger Sullivan, and we have David Murphy and Liam Breen. So now as we head on over, this is a very close race by these first 3 boats. They're heading 2 lengths between 1st and 3rd. which makes it a very exciting race, but we have a long way to go yet. So it's Neem from Valentia from the Liberator, with Ballinskelligs in fourth. So unfortunately I don't have the names of the Valentia crew or the Ballinskelligs crew. And here we have Sneem, who are just about edging to a boat linked in front of Valentia, who are about 3/4 of a length on Carsiveen. But it's early days and there's a long way to go yet. So now as we're heading on over, Sneem are getting a bit more comfortable in their rowing. So now we have Sneem just a link to the boat ahead of Valentia, just a link to the boat ahead of the Liberator from Carsiveen. Ballinskelligs coming along at fourth. Sneem! So now we head over along. Same with our crew of Kevin Murphy and Michael John Murphy, Raymond White and Micheál O'Sullivan, Kieran O'Sullivan and Owen O'Sullivan, Dennis O'Sullivan and Paul Breen, Shane Christian and Tyga Sullivan, and David Murphy and Liam Breen. They're taking it out. They have about 3/4 of a length of water now over Valentia, who have about half a length of water over the Liberator, coxed by Mike Connor, with a crew of Aidan O'Sullivan and John Donovan, Pam McGill and Paddy Donovan, Stephen McCarthy and Adrian O'Connell, Brian Forden and Mick Barrick Murphy, John Paul O'Connor and the evergreen Paul Barrick Murphy, and Mike Coffey and Dennis Moriarty. There was a strong rumour around Portmagee today that Paul Barrick is thinking of retiring, but I take that one with a grain of salt myself. I think I've heard that one once or twice before. That man is flying fit. What would he be retiring for? So as we head on over, we have the Creation with James Gleeson at the helm, just about a length of water clear of Valentia, who are about 3/4 length of water clear of the Liberator, with a couple of links back to Ballinskelligs and Peter Hussey. So now we head on over. These lads they'll be feeling the pressure, but for the boys in front it's a lot easier than for the lads trying to catch up. It's much nicer to be looking back at the boats rather than trying to catch up with them. And it is so wonderful that these now have recognition by the Heritage Council of Ireland, official recognition of the traditional sailboat. It's a fantastic achievement by John and James Murphy. It really is. So we're heading on over. We have the Creation, about 2 links clear of Valentia. We're about 1/4 of a length in front of the Liberator, who are pressing up on him the whole time, with Ballinskelligs a little further back. With Carsiveen are pressing on to Valentia. Sneamer nicely clear at the front. So a lot could happen at the surrounding by. So now we're approaching the rounding by here. We're about 20 strokes in the by. And Sneem about 2 lengths now. The liver be pressing in Valencia when it comes to the rounding. So now Sneemer just approaching the by, just taking the rounding. Sneemer taking the rounding. They're around it. Valencia around. Valencia around. Valencia just coming inside. Just coming inside Valencia there. Nice tidy rounding by Big Mike. Nice and tight. So now Sneem heading over to the second buy with their 2 lengths of water. Hawks by James Gleeson. And we have Valencia in second place, about a length of water clear of the Liberator as we head on for the second buy. Ballinskellig's coming up to the rounding by just now. So there we have the creation from Sneem, opening up 2.5 to 3 lengths from Valencia, who are about a length clear of the Liberator. So every man straining on his oar to keep this lead. Valencia trying hard to catch up with Sneem, and we have Carsavine coming along, pressing along on Valencia. And I'm sure we have some of the boys from Kilmac Simon that were here last year. I'm sure they're down watching this and hoping to be here again next year. These crews racing for the John C. O'Driscoll Cup. Unfortunately, we didn't have it at the regatta last year to present it, but it's here this year. So we head on with Sneem, probably 3 lengths clear of Valencia, who are about a length of water clear of the Liberator, as we're heading over to the second buy. Ballinskellig's are in 4th. So now Sneem are in command of this race, very much in command of this race, with Valencia in 2nd and the Liberator in 3rd, straining with every stroke to catch up with Valencia. So here we have Sneem taking the second buy. And we have Valencia and Carsavine. So now they head back towards the bridge. But Sneem in control from Valencia, from the Liberator. And this Sneem crew would appear to be in total control of this race now, with Valencia in second and Carsavine in third. Maybe the race for second and third, those places may change, but I don't think they'll catch Sneem. It really is a wonderful sight to see these sailboats with men straining on the oars. It is a wonderful sight. 12 men in each boat giving their all for the enjoyment of their neighbours and friends. It is fantastic. So we head back towards the bridge. Sneem in first place, Valencia in second, and Carsavine in third. And as we pan back towards the bridge, and we can see the domes of Portmagee whiskey appearing up out of the ground. They're like something out of Star Wars. It's wonderful to see this local enterprise getting off the ground, and it's a unique looking set of domes. It really is spectacular, adding to the wonderful skyline of Portmagee. So here we have Sneem, 3 to 4 lengths clear, in control of this race, from Valencia in second and Carsavine in third. Valencia about a length and a half clear of water over Carsavine, but Sneem would appear to have this race in the bag, as the saying goes, but they have quite a ways to go yet. These fellas have a lot more sweat to lose yet. And it's nice to see Paul Breen in there looking like a young fella in the creation. And for a lot of years James Gleeson rode in the creation, and now it's nice to see him as cox of the creation. And should we say a successful cox of the creation, a winning cox. So they're pounding it out now. As the fella said, their tails up as they're heading back towards the bridge. From Valencia in second place, coxed by Dermot Walsh. And then we have the Liberator in third place, coxed by Big Mike O'Connor. So sailboat racing at its best. It's lovely to see these men in full flow, and they're giving it all. As we head back towards the bridge. So this is what sailboat racing is all about. 12 men in a cox, and they're giving their all, and it's lovely to see that it has been recognised by the Heritage Council of Ireland. This is definitely part of our heritage down here in South Kerry, and we're very proud that it is being recognised. It was a wonderful work by John and James Murphy, and to see their uncles Mick and Paul in the Liberator rowing here today. It is wonderful to see Ballinsky legs are back in the water. They've had a great tradition of sailboats in Ballinskelligs, and it's nice to see that they've revived it and they're back in the water again this year. So now we're heading back towards the Metalman, and Sneem are in full control of this race. They're in full control of this race, there is no doubt about it. They're 5 to 6 lengths clear of Valentia, who are 3 to 4 lengths clear of the Liberator, with a little bit of distance further back to Ballinskelligs. But it's wonderful to see the tradition of the sailboat and the modern domes in the background. You know, the old and the new, all mixing together. It really is fantastic. And of course, on the label of Portmagee whiskey, if you look closely, you will see a sailboat there in the middle of the label. The Murphys have long been associated with sailboats down through the years. We remember the late, great Barrack Murphy himself, who was a great oarsman and rode for many years with Portmagee. We remember him today as well. So now we approach the bridge with the crowd cheering on for this Sneem crew in the creation, coxed by James Gleeson, followed by Valentia, coxed by Dermot Walsh, and in third place we have the Liberator of Carsavine, coxed by Mike O'Connor, and in fourth place we have Ballinskelligs, coxed by Peter Hussey. So this creation crew, we've our cox James Gleeson, and we have Kieran Murphy and Michael John Murphy, Raymond White and Micheál O'Sullivan, Kieran O'Sullivan and Owen O'Sullivan, Dennis O'Sullivan and Paul Breen, Shane Christian and Tyga O'Sullivan, David Murphy and Liam Breen. The crew of the creation from Sneem. And unfortunately I don't have a list of the crew of the Valentia sailboat, coxed by Dermot Walsh, but I have the Carsavine crew, coxed by Mike O'Connor. We have Aidan O'Sullivan and John Donovan, Barry Gill and Patrick Donovan, Stephen McCarthy and Adrian O'Connell, Brian Foran and Mick Barrack Murphy, John Paul O'Connor and Paul Barrack Murphy, and Mike Coffey and Dennis Moriarty. As we see Sneem under the eye of the bridge, with the cheers of the crowds, being followed by Valentia, and Valentia in second place, and the Liberator of Mike Connor in third place, followed by Ballinskelligs and Peter Hussey in fourth. So now James Gleeson and the crew of the creation head back to the final buy at the island with 6 or 7 links to spare over Valentia's Island Dawn. And then we have the Liberator from Carsavine with Mike O'Connor as cox. Here's the Liberator coming along in third place. So now we're heading back past the village And back to the final boy of the day at the island. And Sneem took the lead early on and kept it and increased it. So it's a very impressive performance by Sneem here today. Followed in second place by Dermot Walsh and Valentia. So here we see the creation round in the final by, coming round it. There we are, safely around it and heading for home. And in we have Valentia coming into round in second place. They are safely around it. And now we have the Liberator coming into round in third place. Yeah, they're coming around, but here we see the Sneem crew in command throughout this race. Cox by James Gleeson, heading for another memorable victory in Portmagee waters. A really fine performance by this crew. Really is a fine performance by the creation from Sneem. And in second place we have Dermot Walsh and the Valentia crew. In third place we have the Liberator and Mike O'Connor from Castlevine. And in fourth we have Ballinskelly's Cox by Peter Hussey in the Adventure. So as we head on over, we're probably 20 to 30 strokes to go, and we watch Sneem in a commanding lead as they're coming in to get the hooter in the Portmagee Regatta 2021. Really are deserving winners of this race today. They took command from the beginning and weren't going to be caught. So here we see them in the final strokes. Men getting tired, but this is a nice tiredness. It's a victory tiredness. So here we are. They're just about to get the hooter. In first place, James Gleeson and the creation from Sneem. There they are. There you have your victors. The creation from Sneem, Cox by James Gleeson. And in second place, we have Valentia. In second place, coxed by Dermot Walsh. And coming in third place is Mike O'Connor and his crew of the Liberator, to finish in a gallant third place. And here we see the gallant Ballinskelly's crew, coxed by Peter Hussey, in fourth place. Great to see Ballinskelly's back in the water. I look forward to seeing them next year.
Well done, lads. Well done, lads.
There we are. Cheers, lads.
First Sneem, second Valentia, third Castlevine, and fourth Ballinskelly.